the worm dieth not.
Getting ready to buy or sell a home? Do you want to help support pro-life organizations? Then you need Real Estate for Life. Get a top-notch real estate agent and support pro-life causes. Go to realestateforlife.org to learn more.
Glory to Jesus Christ. The fervent petition of a holy man is powerful indeed. The fervent petition of a holy man or woman is powerful indeed. Elijah, whose feast day we celebrate today, says Elijah was only a man like us. Yet he prayed earnestly that it would not rain, and no rain fell on the land for 3 years and 6 months. When he prayed again, the sky burst forth with rain, and the land produced its crop. Never forget that your prayers are powerful, that your prayers have the ability to make a difference, that your prayers are valuable to God and to the people of God. The fervent prayer of a righteous person, and that's you and me, otherwise we wouldn't be here. Your fervent prayers are very powerful indeed. Elijah is an Old Testament prophet, as we know. And yet he was one of the most extreme people that we hear about in the Bible. He might have been an Old Testament saint, but my goodness me, he was someone whose fervent prayer was very powerful indeed. So powerful that uniquely, except from the Blessed Mother maybe, he went up to heaven in a fiery chariot. That's how powerful this guy's prayers were. And we see him in his fiery chariot blessing his disciple, the prophet Elisha, who also worked mighty miracles. The prayers of the church describe Elijah as a man with fiery zeal for miracles. Fiery zeal. You know, there's a story related that when the King Ahab, who was a wicked, sinful, evil piece of work, and yet the Lord sent this amazing fiery prophet to be a thorn in his side. And the Lord prophesied through Elijah, telling Ahab and the people of Israel what they should do and what they should not do. And I don't know whether it was that Ahab, being the king, he wanted to be the main man. He wanted to make all the decisions. He wanted to do what he wanted to do. Thank you very much. And no one, no God, and certainly not some stinky prophet is going to tell me, the king, what I'm going to do. Thank you. So he sends 50 men, 50 soldiers and their captain to go and arrest Elijah and finish him off. That's his plan. They try. They come to get him. And they're burned up. Fire falls down from heaven and burns every last one of them. That's what God thinks of rebellion. That's what God thinks of those who won't do what he's asking them to do. That's what God thinks. And even after that absolute conflagration, this dumb king won't submit. We can hear the voice of the devil crying out through Ahab what the devil has always cried out through many, many people and in many, many times and places. I will not serve serve. I will not bow. I will not serve. I will rule. Me and only me. So he sends another 50 men and a captain. They're consumed in flame. What did you expect? You fool that tested God. What did you expect? But this fool has still not learned his lesson. He sends another 50 men and their captain. The captain has seen what has happened to the other 102 men. And he comes creeping to Elijah and says, Your Holiness, please, I know what is about to happen. I'm under orders. I have no choice. But please will you come with me to the king? Please can we work something out so that me and my men don't have to be burned up right now? And Elijah takes pity on him and goes with him to the king. Ultimately, Ahab was never able to bow the knee. Ahab, in spite of this man of fire in his face, wasn't able to turn from his anger and his pride and his self-importance. And he died a miserable death. The prophet Elijah, on the other hand, went to heaven in a fiery chariot. The wonderful thing is, the Bible hints in various places that God is not finished with Elijah. He went up to heaven where the fathers tell us God is keeping him, because the world still needs Elijah. And according to both the book of Revelation, as it's interpreted by the fathers, and also the prophecy of Malachi, one day Elijah is coming back. The promise from God is, Behold, I will send you Elijah before the coming of the great and glorious day of the Lord. And he will turn the heart of the father to his son, and a man's heart to his neighbor, lest I come and strike the earth completely. I will send you Elijah. John the Baptist moved in the spirit and power of Elijah. And the book of Revelation talks about two witnesses from whose mouth fire flows to destroy the enemies of God. And the fathers of the church suggest that those two witnesses, one is the prophet Enoch, who walked with God so closely that God just took him and is keeping him. And the other is Elijah, who God took to heaven in such a dramatic, fiery way after his dramatic, fiery life. That at the end times, Enoch and Elijah, say the fathers, will return to continue that ministry of fire, to continue saying to all the proud rulers of this world what God says they may do and what God says they may not do. And I think we need that ministry of fire in this messed up and sinful and proud world that we live in. May we move in the spirit and power of Elijah, in that fiery zeal for miracles. Jesus, in the gospel we've heard, also encountered this demonic fury. Jesus is in his hometown, preaching in the synagogue. He has just preached some magnificent words. He has just preached about how he has come to set them free, how he has come to preach the gospel to the poor, to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. And yet, very quickly, they all get mad at him. And it's that same fury that Elijah encountered. When the people in the synagogue heard what Jesus said, they were all filled with fury. What had he said to them that made them so furious? He said to them, essentially, not everyone who prays gets a miracle. Not everyone who asks God for something gets something. Because God is God. You think you are God? You think you get to dictate to God? Not a bit of it. And Jesus is pointing this out. Elijah went to a foreigner. He healed a Syrian army captain. He went to one widow. There were plenty of starving widows in his day, and the miracle happened to one of them. He's pointing out that God is allowed to be God. And whether God does what we want or doesn't do what we want, we have to kneel and recognize that he is God and we are not. We have to be willing to receive his words of grace, as the gospel described his message in that synagogue, not to get angry with him. And we see the fury that these people were filled with, it says. They were filled with fury, and they took him up to the cliff to try and throw him off. What is wrong with you? You're trying to throw out of town, trying to throw off the cliff your salvation, the one who came to heal your broken heart, the one who came to open the cell of your captivity, the one who came to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor, just because he doesn't do it your way, just because he makes you wait sometimes to get an answer, just because he's testing your faith. It's so easy to fall into that demonic trap of anger, fury at God. I will not serve, I will not kneel. And better Christians than you and me have fallen into that trap. And what does Jesus do horrifically? He passed through the midst of them and went away. He went away. If you want him to, he'll leave you. If you want him to, if you insist, he will pass through your midst and go away. Brothers and sisters, dear friends, do not let that be you. Do not send him away, but rather see what he wants to do in you and through you. Remember that your prayers are fervent. If you will be righteous, your prayers will be powerful. If you will kneel and get off the throne. You know, there's a wonderful bumper sticker that says, if Jesus is your co-pilot, you need to switch seats. Who is sitting on the throne? Who is sitting on the throne? All of us have a throne in our life. Let's find a throne. It's not much of a throne. Maybe our lives are not much. But we all have a throne somewhere in our hearts. Who's sitting on it? Who is sitting on it? Does the Lord Jesus Christ sit on the throne? Or do you sit on the throne? When you come to Holy Communion, invite him again. Renew your invitation to get off the throne and let him rule. Let him be God and let him be healer. And you be co-pilot. You get on your knees and let him reign on the throne of your life. When you do that, you'll see that wonderful things start to happen. What kind of things? Listed in another of the epistles. Gifts is what starts to happen. One's gift may be prophecy. It may be the gift of ministry. It may be the gift of teaching. It may be the power of exhortation. It may be giving alms. It may be ruling and leading. It may be performing works of mercy. Brothers and sisters, what if the Lord is calling you, giving you the power of exhortation, and yet you just, wave at somebody on Facebook? What if the Lord wants you to perform works of mercy and you give nothing? What if the Lord wants you to teach and you put the books down and watch TV? Be like the prophet Elijah. Dare to be a man or woman of extremes. Dare to use whatever gifts he gives you. Use them for his glory and for the building up of his body. And remember that your prayers and mine, just like the prophet Elijah, are very powerful indeed.